Oh my gosh. Ah! Oh my gosh. I don't know what this is. I'm not on the verge of a panic attack. I'm not on the verge of anything. This just goes back to that video I mentioned like 2 videos ago. I think it was the second time I was going to a restaurant by myself, like alone. I spent like 10 minutes or 20 minutes trying to explain how, I don't know the word for it, but there has to be a word for when, because like an object in motion stays in motion, an object not in motion stays not in motion. I no longer have social anxiety, but I do lack a lot of social experience because of my abusive, neglectful upbringing. I was sheltered a lot. My parents chose not to socialize me that much. I don't know why. And when I say not much, I mean like nothing. Like nothing. And it sounds so bad, quote unquote. And I'm not saying this like, oh, because of this, I'm this way, and because of that, like no, things happen, and as a result of things happening, other things happen, and I'm not blaming anyone. Just for whatever reason, my parents chose not to socialize me that much. And furthermore, I was actually quite discouraged to have like friends, which is such an odd thing to say out loud. And whenever I've shared that privately with people, I always get like looks like that, like what? Like, yeah, like literally if I came home and told my daddy like, oh, I made a friend today, he'd be like, what? Like, and he would get so angry. And so I had to like no longer have friends. And regarding like socialization, I low-key am so jealous of everybody. I saw this on Threads a few weeks ago. Like, why does the whole family have to go to Costco? Like, why not just like one parent? And I low-key am envious, jealous. Like, I wish I had gone to like a place like that, because again, on top of me being sheltered, so unsocialized, or I don't know how to phrase that, like that was another thing my parents never did. Like, I never went along with my mom to run errands, even though like we all could have, my siblings and I could have. Like, we didn't go to the store with her, we didn't go to this with her, we didn't like. And so like I do lack a lot of social experience. And so I used to have really, really bad social anxiety. I used to hide a lot. I used to like, whenever I was going to university, I like went to one and then I transferred to another. And that second one, I just remember like going to the restroom a lot to hide instead of going to my class, because I was so like scared of being around people, even though like, and again, like this was like such a long time ago, but I've put in so much effort. I've put in so much like I don't know how to phrase it, but my social anxiety is gone. And now I'm working on getting my social experience that I believe I should have gotten as a child, as a little older child, as a pre-adolescent, as a teenager, or a teenager. Like, I'm literally like, just like Pokemon. I've referenced that before, but I think it's a really good similarity where like, if you have a Magikarp and you want to become a Gyarados, like you have to, at least when I played Pokemon on the Game Boy, like you had to level up to like 30, 34, 35, I believe. And then like maybe you have a chance at getting a Gyarados, right? Like you don't just become a Gyarados. Like you have to put in. And Magikarp was such a beautiful example, because like he literally only knew how to do that boop, boop, boop. I don't know how to call that. But Magikarp's main move was, oh my gosh, what was it? It was like tackle or something like that. Okay, let me move back behind this guy. Oh, okay. Okay. So, yes. Like, so Magikarp only could do like that one move, and I forgot what it's called, but it was like something, it was like the equivalent of growl or tackle, where literally it was like nothing would happen whenever you did it, and the only way to level up Magikarp was to send out Magikarp and then, you know, bring him back and then send out like a Charizard and then destroy your enemy, and then like the XP would be split between Magikarp and Charizard. So like, I don't know how to phrase this, but like again, like, I don't have much XP specifically in terms of being around people, being like when I say like I don't have much experience going out, that's like one thing, but I don't have much experience going out to restaurants as another thing. And this today is actually my first time doing like, this is like a prerequisite to my solo traveling. I made that bingo card at the beginning of the year. I have it like on my channel, I have it on my Reddit. And essentially whenever I created that, it was like me putting in like what I want to do this year for 2025. And I remember putting like, I want to solo travel because I've heard so many women say, specifically women solo traveling, like so many of them say like, oh yeah, like you know, it did so much for them, right? I'm pretty sure in ways that I can't even like formulate or comprehend right now, which is why like it's like, okay, because I've mentioned so many times before on my channel where it's like whenever I come across something like that, it's like if something scares me, and within reason, if something scares me, like I gravitate towards it like so much, because like I grew up, I raised in poverty. I literally didn't have access to like anything, went to bed hungry all the time. I had these abusive, neglectful, narcissistic, enabler parents. And so yeah, like I want to take advantage of everything I absolutely can in this world, and I don't want anything, I don't want like, so whenever I did have social anxiety and I was scared to go out in public, if I as a person didn't want to go out, that's cool, that's one thing. But if I'm not going out because I'm scared, you know, specifically of something happening, specifically of, you know, things that used to happen when I was younger, you know, and so like there's a reason why people grow and develop social anxiety and phobias and agoraphobia and stuff like that, because like, especially like in your fundamental years, when bad things happen to you, your body is like, got it, right? Got it. If something horrible happened to you when you were out by yourself as a child, your body perceives that as going out bad, right? Just like most individuals who are bit by a dog, a lot of them develop a phobia, a fear of dogs, right? Like, oh, I don't like dogs anymore, or I don't like dogs, and they say that, and then when you get to the root of it, it's like, well, what happened? And it's like, well, one bit me when I was a child, and it's like, got it, and that's your body trying to protect you, right? Your body's so beautiful, it always wants to protect you. And so the difficulty of, you know, getting from where I was to where I am, and I'm trying to keep mindful of everything I just said, because there was a previous video where I rewatched it and I loved it, but there were so many things I didn't go back to. Like, wait, you didn't finish that point, Pauline, and I'm working on it. So the first point I'm trying to make is that your body's beautiful and it's literally always trying to protect you. And if something horrible happens to you out by yourself, your body remembers that. So it's like, okay, we're gonna stop going out, we're gonna stop doing that, right? Your body doesn't understand just because it happened one time doesn't mean it's gonna always happen. Just because, or maybe if it did happen a lot of times, I shouldn't, you know, then, you know, like, oh, but my body was trying to keep me safe. I understand that. And like, okay. And like, yeah, so I understand all of that. Like, I get it. And so I think the other point I was trying to make is that if I wanted to stay at home by myself and that's literally what I wanted to do with my life, then awesome, kudos, do that, Pauline. But no, like, it was the fear driven. And I'm not saying if you got bit by a dog you have to get over that and blah 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 blah. You can do whatever you want, of course, but like for me personally, I don't want anything to control. I say that with quotations, to control, to dictate, to determine. I don't want something else to be like, well, I can't do it because of that, right? Because of whatever happened to me, you know? I can't go back and change time. I can't go back and be like, Mom and Dad, please socialize me. I can't go back and like, it's done. All that is done. You can't, like, it's done. And so I'm in a place now, and I was literally shaking at the beginning of this video. I feel so much better now after talking, so keep that in mind. Like if you're like, oh, what can I do to feel better when I'm super anxious and I'm trying to do something, out of my comfort zone, and I'm trying to, because literally my legs were shaking for the first like 5-10 minutes I was in this car. Literally shaking like that, like shaking. Like, and, oh, that's right. And I also wanted to cry. That was everything I felt at the beginning of this video. I felt this huge, and so the point of this video is that you can do it, that it's really difficult. I know it's really difficult to try and go from an object not in motion to an object in motion. I don't understand what happens, like physically. I don't know what happens, what's the other word? Well, physics. I meant like physically, but not physically. So I don't know what the science is behind all of that. I don't understand. But I do know that, yeah, it's a lot. Like when you do something you're super used to, like walking, you don't like shake when you walk. You don't shake when you talk unless there's a circumstance happening. It's kind of like, okay. Like you've done it so much in your life that it's like second nature. Which is why I'm going to go out to a restaurant and eat by myself again for the third time today, because I want it to become second nature. And also today is the first, I'm on my way to a mini solo trip. I've said it before, where I believe in taking small steps. I believe in being gentle with yourself. I believe in doing what you feel is right. So although I'm going outside of my comfort zone, you're right, going out to eat by myself, I don't have that much experience, but I'm getting it. Like, wait, what was I saying? Like, yeah, although you're outside your comfort zone, I am reasonably outside of my comfort zone right now, right? And everyone's different. Some people do well with giant leaps. Some people do well, like everybody is just absolutely different. And so if someone says, this worked for me 100%, right? Like that might work for you and it might not. There are so many things that I've learned from books, from conversations, from programs, from movies, from like literally just like small interactions with just, somebody you don't even know at the store. Like literally there's so much to be learned everywhere. And just like keep it in mind that, yeah, be gentle with yourself. It's totally okay. I'm super proud of you. And I really wanted to capture this in a video, because the last video I made, like how I was talking about, like, oh, I was freezing working on my new business. Like, little Pauline is like, super scared. Like little Pauline was made to feel worthless. Little Pauline was made to feel like she couldn't do anything, like she couldn't trust herself, right? That's how my parents raised me. And so it's like, I have to be careful. But it's like, oh gosh, I'm so excited. I feel so much like it. Like, I don't know what's going on right now. I keep spacing. My thoughts are a little bit spacier than usual today. And I know it's because of what's happening right now. But that's right. A few videos, I think it was 2 videos ago. I think it was the one where it was my second time going out to eat by myself. I talk about like freezing. I talk about, the transformation that's happening whenever you go from like, this state to a different state, because whenever I think of future Pauline, the Pauline from a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20, right? It's like she's talking to people, like she's not even thinking about this. She's doing things that like I can't even imagine right now. Like she's accomplished so much. But you don't get there by just like not doing anything. Or maybe you do, I don't know. I just said everyone's different, so I don't know. But I wanted to capture that because I kept talking about it. And then it was so interesting because in that video I said, like, yeah, like I would never, what did I say? I said something like, but I'm crying. And I think I said something to the effect of, I'm in no position to film myself, which is such, like, that's literally me telling me from something I learned that it's not okay to cry on camera. And then I uploaded that video, and then days later, I just kept thinking, like, why can't you record that? And so it was really interesting because, again, I mentioned in a separate video how my mother used to be very critical of me, I'm not talking like critical as a young adult. I'm talking critical as a child. As a teeny tiny child, my mother was very critical of me. One of the first things I remember her criticizing me when I was like 4 or 5 years old, possibly like around that age. I was gonna say possibly younger, but let's just say 4 or 5. Make it a little bit better. I remember yawning, her looking at me with disgust, her making me feel so ugly, her saying something to the effect of like, why are you yawning like that? Like, it was just something like that. And I was like, huh? Right? Like, right? And then right away I learned, right, you can't be yourself. You can't be yourself around this woman, around your mother. And so, yeah, really interesting, really beautiful that, like, I always feel like I have to wear makeup everywhere I go. I really love makeup, but I also sometimes do feel like, you know, like, oh, I just look better with it on, or I look more presentable, or I look more something, which is totally something that I got from my mother. And so part of the reason why I said that, like, oh, I'm in no position to record myself, it's like, well, because I'm not wearing makeup. Like, I'm at home. I have my hair is all just like done. It's not like, it's not done, it's like home done. And I'm just like casual kicking it, you know. So part of me was like, you can never record yourself like that. But then days later, I was like, well, why not? Let me depict this. Let me figure out, where is this coming from? Like, okay, why do I feel like I always have to look perfect? Mom, thank you. Why do I feel like I can't record myself crying? It's like, you know, people might perceive that and use it against me, right? Because that's what my mother would do. Use anything against me, any vulnerability, anything I shared, anything like that. It's like, she would just, you know, you can imagine if you come from a similar background. And so that week or the week after, that's when I posted my short of me without any makeup. And I kind of forgot the reasoning why, but I know something was happening that day and I had to feel my feelings. And I was crying, and I didn't record myself crying or anything. But whenever I was done crying, I felt such a huge release. I felt so much better. I felt more capable of doing the things that, you know, maybe I didn't think I could do or something like that. I just know I cried a lot. It was like a lot that day. And then I remember thinking like, oh, this would be good for, like, you know, my YouTube, because I want to capture everything, right? I want to document everything as much as I can ever since, you know, the beginning of the year, because when I started my YouTube channel. And so I was like, okay, let's record it. And I was so nervous because, you know, I wasn't used to recording without any makeup. And, you know, but I also felt really confident because I had that huge release. And so then it was like, okay, we're going to do it. And I did it and I posted it. And there's so much healing that gets done when you do stuff like that, because you're not just sharing it with yourself. You are literally telling, like, anyone can go watch this. And because it's the internet, like, even, you know, I even know if I were to delete it right now today, somehow I know it's still going to be out there somewhere. How? Somehow, somewhere, whatever. And so there's so much in there, and it's so beautiful. And I thought it was so amazing how I tackled all of that the way I did. And that's something else that's been happening this past week, and I mentioned it in my mukbang a little bit. The last one, the spicy shrimp tacos, literally, I do not like spicy food. I don't know what I was thinking when I bought the spicy tacos. I think I was trying to be like, oh, let's try something different. And that first bite was so spicy. I was like, oh my gosh, like, how am I gonna do this? Like, and God, excuse me. Excuse me. I don't know what happened. Something got stuck. But but I remember, like, telling myself, like, it's not spicy. You know, it's not spicy. It's delicious. Like, you love it. And then just like that, the next bite was so much better. So interesting. But this idea of, like, oh, you can't, you know, record yourself without makeup. It's not the fact that I thought I couldn't record myself without makeup. It was the fact that I put something on me, that I put some kind of guideline, some kind of, whatever you want to call it, some kind of restriction. And it's not even me that did it. Somewhere along the road, I was taught you can't do this, otherwise people are gonna, you know, make fun of you. Thanks, Mom. And so it's like I have that, you know, and it's beautiful because there are so many things that like dictate us or determine us. I don't know how to phrase that, but there are so many things that kind of make us move a certain way or do certain things or say what, you know, subconsciously. There are so many things that we've picked up from childhood that we don't even know. Like, hey, like, you're right, I do always do that after this, or you're right, I do always say that when this happens, or I didn't realize I did that. You know, there's so many. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful how you can't be objective about yourself, because I feel like if we were able to be objective about ourselves, like, it's just like that'd be a completely different human experience. But we can't be. We only know like one player mode. We don't see third player mode or whatever. We don't see everything happening. All we see is like just from our eyes out. You know, but you sit with God, you meditate, you journal, you reflect, you talk, you think out loud, you make YouTube videos, you reach out to people, you read books, etc., etc., etc. And then you're like, wait a second. And if you're lucky, you start to connect the dots. You start to see things for what they are. You start to figure out, who am I exactly? What did I get from my childhood, my upbringing, my parents, right? That person that used to be mean to me, the person that was nice to me. Like, there's so many things to think about and to connect and to, you know. And so, yeah, to finish my point, I think I'm doing really good at finishing all my points in this video, is that keeps happening. That keeps happening. A few days ago, I was on Instagram and I was just looking at reels, and this one lady was like, if you want to level up, you know, to the girls, to the women, to the like, if you want to level up, or to the men, start wearing heels. Start wearing heels when you go out to the store, to wherever, to, right? And I was like, I got nervous, and I found myself commenting, like, I would, you know, I can imagine, you know, doing that. Whenever I did work in an office, I wore heels every single day, but to me that kind of makes sense because it's like an office work, you know, it's like you gotta look cute. But if I'm going to like your groceries, like, and I was gonna put something like that, like, you know, like, it scares me, or like I wish I could do this, or I would never do this. And similar to the, I can't record myself in that kind of state, but instead of happening within 2 weeks or something, it happened instantly, where I was like, wait a second, before I push send on this little Instagram post button, like why can't you? And then I erased it, and I put, the thought of doing this scares me, so I'm probably gonna do it. I haven't done it yet. I'm working on slow things. Like, right now I'm focused on going out to eat by myself. It has been like 2 weeks since I've done that, because I opened up a new business. We just finished our first busy season. We it's so beautiful, and now I'm able to go back and focus on the other things, such as getting my social experience XP points, such as going to eat by myself, such as working on these other things. So if I want to do a solo travel trip by the end of the year, which, you know, it could be within, you know, it doesn't have to be like out of the country, like it could just be like something, but this is like it's a smaller than that. So, you know, I'm just trying to do baby steps. It's gonna be a few days where I'm just like completely like but it's gonna be awesome. And it's so cool because at the beginning of this video, before I even started this video, I was shaking. I wanted to cry. The entire time I was getting ready, I wanted to cry. I actually didn't even know it was happening today, but it's happening. And I'm really hungry, so I'm really excited to go eat. But regarding the advice for that, having someone helps. Having someone you can talk to helps a lot. I don't know if I could have done this if I had nobody to talk to. And it's not even like they have to understand. It's not even like they have to have experience with what you're trying to do. It's not even anything like that. You just literally, I mean, I'm pretty sure people have done this alone. So I'm not saying like you need to, but for my experience today, this morning, having someone there be like, yeah, you got this. You can do it. Like, it's so beautiful. And I'm so grateful to God that I have that. saw threads a while ago that was like, worshiping while driving is so dangerous, or something like that. And it made me laugh so much because it's like, yes. I can't even mention or think too much about him before I start to like feel so many things, and I just want to cry. Because when you know what it feels like to be absolutely alone, like to have someone there to support you and love you is just such a huge blessing. But I would say embrace it. Starting is definitely the hardest part. I also made a Threads post earlier today talking about, being frozen and, unable to do stuff. I don't know what the word for that is, where you kind of crash and you're supposed to do something and it would be so easy to start or do it, but for some reason you're still sitting and not doing anything. This morning, actually, I found myself in that situation, and it was the first time, I want to say ever, or at least consciously, that I was like, you know what? Like, I literally just got, with that experience, there was no one there. I was alone. So I know it's possible to do this by yourself. I know anything is possible. But in the baby experience before all of this happened, I found myself kind of crashing and just sitting and not doing anything. And it's like, dude. And then I was like, oh. And I just got up. My body was shaking. I changed clothes. I got my car keys. And I just drove to do what I had to get done. And I was so proud of myself. And I was riding this high that I thought I was going to ride for the rest of the day, possibly the rest of the week. I wasn't even thinking about going out to eat by myself this week. And then this opportunity rose up, and I was like, okay, we're doing it. And I was shaking because the idea of being, by myself for a few days, but like, that's what we have to do, right? If as a child I didn't get the experience or the understanding that I can fall back and trust myself, that I got what it takes to, do anything, that like I can do X, Y, and Z. Like, you need evidence. You literally need evidence, right? Evidence. That's the correct word I'm thinking of. Evidence, experience. Where like, because if you say like, oh, I can never do that, but then you go out and do it, your brain's gonna be like, girl, you've done this. What are you talking about? You can't do it. Now the brain knows, like, you can do this and you can build on it. And I just don't want anything to deter me. I don't want anything to dictate me, especially from my traumatic upbringing, background, abuse, etc., whatever. Like, I don't, like, literally, I think it was the first time I went to eat out by myself, that video where I said I was raised one way, right? But I know God created me for another. I know He did not create me just to be abused, to be neglected, to be criticized, humiliated, to feel like, no. And there is a lot of like processing, and there's different phases, and so this is like, this is not like day one for me. No, this is literally years in the making, so much effort, intention, so much everything. And we're just going with it. We're going with it because I know there's so much ahead of me, and I don't want anything to, because in my body, I wanted to stay home. I wanted to be with my cats. I wanted to be in the comforts of, safety, complete safety. Like, there's absolutely no possibility of something harming, hurting. Like, I just want to be like. So the first time I got up, got dressed, got my keys, and drove, there was this kind of like this lift of this energy transferring from stagnant to dynamic to doing things that we couldn't do before. We're taking action. We're moving. And then, like, literally, like, whenever I was done with that, I got a text, and I was like, wait, like, that's today? Like, I thought I had a few more. I thought this whole thing was happening later. Turns out it was happening today. So I thought that was beautiful, the way the universe did that for me, because I was already on one high, and now it's, which, it can be argued, because it does take a lot out of you. it does for me, like spiritually, energy, like it sucks a lot out of you. So I can't wait to eat, to be done eating by my, whatever, get that experience. I was taking a shower earlier. I was visualizing me more relaxed, especially after, like, just more relaxed. Like, how do you want to be when you go out? So, da 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 da. All right, I gotta go, but I'm proud of you. I love you, and everything's always gonna be awesome. I just came back from eating out at a restaurant alone by myself for the 3rd time, and I feel really good. I feel really happy. I did go to the same restaurant I went the first time because I didn't want to like overwhelm myself too much, because from the beginning of this video there was like so much going on, and I didn't want to go to like a new place, so I just kept it like, the same one. And it's so interesting because there are so many times I find myself wanting to be like, why did I say that, or why did I do this, or why did I do that, or why did I phrase it like that? And every single time that why did you blank came up, I literally was just like, no, not doing that. I don't care. Because I know, like, when you come from trauma and abuse and all of that, your brain does want to protect you, and you do want to understand, and you want to make sure, da 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 da. But like, no. Like, literally, if you went out and did something that was out of your comfort zone, even if it was like a smidge, a little bit, a centimeter, an ounce, a half an ounce, I don't care. Like, it could be something so small. But if you did something out of your comfort zone, and you pushed yourself, and like, you feel this pull because like you're meant for something bigger than where you are right now. It's like, I feel so sleepy. Every time I eat, I get so sleepy. But, and this time I also ate half my food again. I was eating, I was happy, it was so delicious, and then halfway through, I burped, and I was like, oh. And a part of me was like, we have to finish all of this. And I was like, no, which is like something else I'm still working on. But like, literally, no. Like, if you pushed yourself, I'm so proud of you. And be proud of yourself, even if like there's no one there. Like, right now there's like no one around me, and I literally have to be so proud of myself, because like it's a huge thing. Like, 3rd time going out to eat by yourself. Like, girl, so happy, so proud of you. And just like another stepping like stone to where we want to be. And it's really interesting how, like, right when it happened, it was like, why did I? And then it was like, nope, I don't care. And I visually saw like a little tiny boat just like sail off into the distance. Like, this is no concern of mine. I really don't, like, I don't care. And I say that as nicely as possible. I do not care. Oh my gosh, I'm so full. But I'm so happy. Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to drive to where I'm gonna be for the next few days. It's gonna be my first solo. It's not like, I don't want to say solo travel. I need to come up with like how to phrase this. But my first solo mini adventure, maybe, like by myself. Like, I have to navigate things. So very different for me. And hopefully this is like a stepping stone to like my solo traveling. I'm so gentle with myself. A part of me is like, you know, if December 31st, 2025 comes and you haven't done it, it's totally fine. But the other part of me is like, no, it's April. We still have time. Which, by the way, update on the books I've read. Still the same. That's another thing on my bingo card. 45 books by the end of the year. Right now we're at we're at what? But I think I already like figured out, like I still can do it. Anything is possible. Anything literally is possible. I love that part in The Office when they figured out that Michael, right, outed Oscar, and then Michael's like, who else is gay in the office? Like, Angela? Is it, you know, is Oscar and Angela having a gay affair? And then Jan's like, that's not possible, Michael. And then he goes, anything's possible. And that's the kind of, that's what I'm talking about. Anything literally is possible. Don't ever put yourself in a box. Don't ever allow anyone else to put you in a box. Don't ever, ever, ever. You can literally do anything you want to ever, period, within reason. I feel like I have to say that just in case like somebody's like, okay. But so excited! All right, love you, proud of you. Bye.